Namaste Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So after understanding the proper qualification, we need to now look into the subject matter. We start with chapter 1. This is called the sadhana leading to celestial vraja. Now, there are so many quotes that Maharaj has collected, and they have been put in references. So we should also study those. I mean, we will refurbish our knowledge that we went through before in most common sources. That what Srila Prabhupada translated, and that will help us to foster the commitment towards understanding Lord Shri Krishna through internal meditation. This is called sadhana leading to celestial vraja. In his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Rupa Swami describes devotional service in practice to be of two kinds: regulated vaidhi and spontaneous raganuga. The Acharya further elaborates on a well-known principle of bhakti, which is that spiritual disciplines lead to corresponding perfections. So, we need to understand spiritual perfections. Now, those who are not going through regulated devotional service that Rupa Goswami describes us, Haridas Thakur in Harinam Chintamani states that the stage of bhava will come only after you become greedy for the transcendental subject matter. That is, asakti is necessary, and this asakti of transcendental nature, which is giving us true attachment in our heart, and we think that it is normal because in material condition we are also becoming asakta or dehatma bhani, So that has to be gone through the transcendental knowledge. Dehatma bhan should be there, but atma bhan should be there. Now, this is the topic that we are entering into, the primary knowledge that we are soul, part and parcel of Supreme Lord, qualitatively one, but quantitative difference is there. So that kind of quality knowledge pertaining to the self would be more congenial, that we keep in mind. So that will give us a gradual rise to bhava, according to Adav Shraddha Tato Sadhu Sangata Bhajana Kriyatha Anartha Nivritti Syad Tato Nishtha Ruchi Asakti Bhav and Prem. While Haridas Thakur says that those who are taking directly to spontaneous devotional services without understanding the principles of getting rid of bodily conception of life, they will never achieve the sthai bhav state, in yugas, not many births, but yugas. So that is the verdict of Haridas Thakur. But here we say that our Acharya Rupa Goswami further elaborates on well-known principle of bhakti, which is that the spiritual disciplines lead to corresponding perfections. So we have to follow Rupa Goswami's methodology of stepwise increment in our devotional service. For example, the worshippers of Lord Ramchandra become his eternal associates in Ayodhya Vaikuntha, while worshippers of Lord Narayana attain shelter in Lord's all opulent abode. Similarly, devotees of Krishna who steadfastly worship him in reverence becomes his servant in Dwarka, while those who attain perfection of spontaneous love become Brajvasis. So, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed by remaining in but he was in totally mood of separation, because it's the same Krishna. But Jagannath Puri is understood to be Dwarka. So the Goswamis are contemplating on this, and Dwarka is a Vaikuntha. Dwarka is not Braja. So all the Jagannath Puri residents are understood to be having 400 forms. And that is the mood of worship. And we are also told that even though we worship Radha Krishna at our home, yet we have to worship in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. So awe and reverence is the beginning point, but then gradually we have to rise above, because our inclination is towards the loving devotional service in the mood of gopis, that is the highest principles. So how do we arrive gradually from the basic mood of worship to the highest mood? One cannot jump immediately. So comparing the devotion of the Brajavasis to that of all others, Lord Krishna says, everywhere in the world people worship me according to scriptural injunctions, but simply by following such regulative principles, one cannot attain the loving sentiments of the devotion of in Brajabhumi. Now, be mindful that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us 5 principles to achieve in our style of devotion that we are supposed to achieve. That Aradhyastanaya Brajendra Nandana Tadhamam Vrindavanam Ramya Kashidupasana Brajabudur Vargaija Kalpita and Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puranam. So these are the lofty ideals that we have to cling to. And also it is said that Chaitanyara Sangi Sange Nitya Siddha Karimane Je Jaya Vrajendra Sutapas. So we have guideline in our disciplic succession, whom we have to follow, whose instructions we have to actually put in action and lead our devotional career. All right. So, in context of devotional principles cited above, this statement of the Lord implies that in order to attain the most exalted loving devotion, Ragatmika Bhakti, one must engage in corresponding spiritual practice. That corresponding practice is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Raganuga requires sadhana. Because the asakti, bhav, and prema are coming into that Raganuga Bhakti, these 3 stages. Okay. So one must engage in corresponding spiritual practice. That corresponding practice is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And it is the subject matter of this book. Krishna appeared on the earth along with his eternal Vrajavasis, so that devotees who hear about his pastimes would be inspired by his associates' unique love for him. Krishna then reappeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach Raganuga Bhakti through the medium of Nama Sankirtan. Srimad Bhagavatam is emphatic in its expectation that devotees who have read the Krishna's pastime from its pages recognize the wonderful opportunity presented through the process of spontaneous practice. This is Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Deham Asritah Bhajate Tadrashi Krida Yah Shrutva Tat Paro Bhavet. Krishna manifests his eternal human form and perform his pastimes to show mercy to devotees. Having heard such pastime, one should engage in service to him. So the pastimes are in front of the practitioner, and we need to understand through the explanation with references. The sloka that was recited, that Anugrahaya Bhaktanam, that is taken from 10th canto, 33rd chapter, 36th verse. So the reference is a very profound reference that Krishna manifests his eternal human-like form and performs his pastimes to show mercy to the devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. The paritranaya sadhunam, those who are devotees, they have to be enlivened because they will be rest assured that they will be delivered from any condition. So actually, in front of calamities, they may exhibit love for Krishna by becoming fearful of the situation. But actually, it is part of the rasa tattva. So Ragatmika Bhakti will explain that how it looks almost the same as it in our material conditioning, that we express fear, but at the same time, Krishna's pastimes become attractive. At the same time, the person who reads it, who visualizes it, that this must be real. But how is it real is to be understood through Ragatmika Bhakti, which is for all eternal happiness, which is being exchanged with Lord Sri Krishna, with his pure devotees, the Brajavasis. So, having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to him. So, everybody must have read Krishna trilogy, Krishna's pastime. We know most everything, but it gives opportunity to meditate through our spiritual development, not material development. Material development interferes bliss. While those who are in a regulated principle of the bhakti tattva that Rupa Goswami gave us stage-wise, because we read such topics, then we meditate on the basis of our transcendental understanding that we are developing. That every activity is blissful. Every activity is blissful for the devotee. And Krishna reciprocates to that sentiments. So That is also to be realized, that our activity, which are exchangeable in deity worship also, that the sentient feelings created by such pastimes may be applied to the deity form, and you can decorate the deity of Lord Shri Krishna in different pastimes. That is possible. You can understand why in Guru Ayurappa, even though Lord Narayan is four-handed and a small murti, but at the same time, Lord Narayan is attached to the Shila at the back, and they say it was worshipped by Rukmini. And during the submerging of Dwarka in after Krishna left Swadhama Pagate. So this deity worshipped by Rukmini was salvaged by Guru, that is Brahaspati and Vayu Devata. And they brought to be re-established somewhere, and they say that, yeah, they chose this particular place in Kerala, and it is celebrated Guru Vayur. Guru Vayur means Guru and Vayu, they have come. The story goes that Lord Shiva was meditating at Bindu Sarovar, and that Sarovar is also there. And they came and they asked Lord Shiva, Brahaspati and Vayudevata asked Lord Shiva that, can you please show us a very what you call qualified place where we can install this deity? And Lord Shiva says, yes, why not? You take this place at Bindu Sarovar, and I will move out next to him. So that's how the Guru temple came on the Bindu Sarovar lake that it is nearby. And Lord Shiva moved to the other side of the lake, which is called Mamur temple. So this is the story, but it is relishable in the sense of, the nature of. Now, the residents of Guruvayur, they are very fond that every day, in and out, they make chandan lep, because Kerala is not a cold country at all. So it is to be applied chandan every now and then. But they make two-handed form of Lord Krishna out of four and decorate him beautifully in Krishna Lila. Somehow or another, it is being worshipped by Mayavadis, but at the same time, Krishna is tricky. If Krishna in Jagannath Puri can be, accepting the service of Sabaras, why not? Krishna can accept the service from Mayavadis. So there are a lot of stories and interesting stories that we can understand in order to increase our, mood of worship of Lord Krishna in that particular, and relish the local, talks. So this is little amazing that Ragatmika Bhakti can take us to certain, but we need to be guided. Of course, acceptance of such services in Jagannath Puri as well as in Guruvayurappa is the Mayavadis are handling. But regardless, the devotees can relish certain, effectuating moods and relationship that gives a transcendental happiness in the interactions between the deity and the devotee. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us Raganuga Bhakti through the medium of Nama Sankirtan. Nama Sankirtan. Chaitanya Leela is non different from Krishna Leela, Radha Krishna Leela. So, Nama Sankirtan is our common basis, but Nama Sankirtan alone is for meditation, but congregational chanting is for relishing such pastimes, wherever is applicable. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, is giving hope that Krishna manifests his eternal human-like form and perform his pastimes to show mercy to the devotees. This is the mercy. And one must become saturated at the end of his life, at least, become saturated with this mercy that will be, not only liberating, but qualifying him to go back home, back to Godhead. Having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to him. Our service can become selective after getting this mature understanding, and it will help us to keep the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada preaching, as well as experiencing our own internal relationships. The above cited word bhavit means one must become a Raganuga Bhakta. See? And its authoritarian mood implies that astute student of Srimad Bhagavatam will come to that proper conclusion. This is also been quoted as this interpretation of the word bhavit is found in the verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 4th chapter, 33rd and 34th and 35th verses. And their purpose. Bhavit means must become. Bhavit, it should manifest, So, this mood should be taken by the devotee who is aspiring to go on the higher state of Raganuga Bhakti, Asakti, Bhav, and Prem. Asakti should become, means where to get attached, which particular mood and how much concentrated, relishment would be, that's according to our desire, like that. However, and as will be explained later, such conclusion and practice will generally develop when devotees have been sufficiently purified through regulated practice and by association of advanced Vaishnavas. One does not have to go to Babaji of Radhakund to become advanced. There is no necessity. Our process is sadhana bhakti, but now ragatmika sadhana is becoming our target. So advanced devotees will be there, just like we are trying to associate through the writings of my god brother, Shivaram Maharaj. But you can imagine how carefully he is guiding, how carefully he is leading to understanding first, and then preparing the reader or the hearer or the practitioner to go into the serious subject matter of Ragatmika Bhakti. In Krishna's own words, then by hearing about the pure love of the residents of Braja, devotees will worship me on the path of spontaneous love, abandoning all rituals of religiosity and fruitive activity. This is another one that is taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 4th chapter, 33rd verse. So, what that regulated principles, they are not necessary to go through. That abandoning all rituals of religiosity and fruitive activity, that we do not have to perform sanskaras. We do not have to perform a regulated monitoring of our superiors. They will take make chart of how many rounds we chanted this and that. We can bypass, because this meditation will take over the constant hearing and chanting. Meditation will take over. So this has to be developed very gradually and very carefully. So then by hearing about the pure love of the residents of Raja, devotees will worship me on the path of spontaneous love, abandoning all rituals of religiosity and fruitive activity. They are not interested in this kind of even attending religious rituals, and trying to work something for fruitive activity. Means either for Krishna, that you have to take up a project and do. No, they have to ultimately give up everything and become concentrated in meditating on Krishna's pastimes. To better understand spontaneous devotional in the life of a practitioner, let us begin by studying the two types of devotion in practice and their interrelationships. This study begins with a comparison of two kinds of devotion, a study that poses the following question: which kind of devotional service awards the complete unfolding perfected mellows, Vaidhi or Raga? And can a devotee attain Vraja Bhakti through the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti? Sanatan Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamritam is devoted to answering this question, which may be summarized in this way. We have gone through Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Now understand the error. Only spontaneous devotional service leads to complete unfolding of the mellows. This is also the quotation from Brihad Bhagavatamritam. So that we shall later see that the spontaneous devotion mixed with reverence leads to service in Dwarka of Goloka. Remember, Gopakumar travels further from the Vaikuntha to Vaikuntha Saket Dham, that is Lord Ramchandra's eternal residence is there. And then further to Dwarka Dham, which is coming under this Goloka Vrindavan. So there in Dwarka, Gopakumara's experiences that we have undergone, we can recollect if you remember something. So let's understand that Maharaj is, teaching us. Sanatan Goswami's Bhagavatamritam is devoted to answering this question that which type of bhakti unfolds the mellows of, the most complete unfolding. Is it Vaidhi or Raga? So we get the answer also from Bhagavatamritam that only spontaneous devotional service leads to the complete unfolding of mellows and not Vaidhi. This is the answer. And can a devotee attain Braja Bhakti through the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti? And while regulated devotional service may award eternal residence in many Vaikuntha planets, only through unalloyed spontaneous love is the Vraja of Goloka accessible. You can understand the nature of Vraja Bhakti. Remember, every time if Gopakumar wants to make a further progress, he is sent back to Vrindavan to meet his spiritual master. And he will rise to that particular topic of his eternal nature in Goloka Vrindavan. So he was advised to go back. So we have to develop this practice in Vrindavan, Brajabhavi Vrindavan. That's how the order of Srila Prabhupada is that those who are matured in devotional service must come and reside in Vrindavan to understand and to improve their Raganuga aspect. Everybody wants to become Sahajiya, but become Raganuga. That will be better. I hope you can understand my thinking. So only regulated devotional service may award eternal residence in many Vaikuntha planets, but only through unalloyed spontaneous love is Vraja of Goloka accessible. Because spontaneous devotional service leads to a more intimate relationship with Krishna and in a land abounding with the greatest sweetness. It is often said to be superior to service inspired by regulations. However, it should be made clear that such a comparison does not imply any defect in regulated devotional service. That any defect in our regulated devotion, regulated practice, that comparison cannot be done in Ragatmika Bhakti. Regulated and spontaneous devotion are equally perfect and complete in both practice and attainment. Because these subject matters are perfectly, set up. But one has to make a transition after maturity. Maturity means perfectness. The concept of superiority and inferiority are applied to them only to indicate greater or lesser degree of completeness and perfection. A regulated devotional service is lesser than spontaneous devotional service. No. Both are independently taking us to the same point of maturity. Okay. The concepts of superiority and inferiority are applied to them only to indicate greater or lesser degree of completeness and perfection. These are the relative considerations in the absolute realm. As Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami regarding Krishna's manifestation being perfect, more perfect, and most perfect. This is also to be understood in Chaitanya Charitamritam, Madhya Leela, 20th chapter, 399th verse, where Sanatana Goswami, meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Chandrasekhar Acharya's home, and he's teaching about the bhakti. Both the situations are perfect, but one must try to get accessibility to the Brajaras for more intensified, interactions and relishment of those moods. Okay. In describing sadhana bhakti, Rupa Goswami chooses to describe it primarily in terms of regulated devotion. The reason for that is repeatedly emphasized throughout this book. The external activities of both kinds of sadhana are basically the same, that of the regulated devotional service. The external activities of both kinds of sadhana means sadhana bhakti or raganuga bhakti, they are basically the same. The set of activities or single activity that constitute devotional service is called a limb of devotion or anga. For example, of a set of activities is deity worship, which groups together many kinds of tasks related to the Lord. An example of a single activity is accepting a spiritual master, a duty that has no further subdivisions. It's a singular activity that one must be guided by spiritual master, So accepting spiritual master is a duty that has no further subdivisions. There are 64 such limbs of devotional service, of which the first 20 are considered the door to bhakti, the most important being taking shelter of the spiritual master, serving him, and accepting instruction and initiation. Devotees may refer to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu or the Nectar of Devotion for a detailed description of each of the limbs. We have gone through 64 limbs. Of these 64 limbs, some engage a devotee's entire body, others the senses like touch and sight. Still, others are internal organs such as mind. Of the 64, 5 deity worship, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna, associating with the devotees, and residing in Vrindavan are the most prominent. And as with all guidelines, some are a recommendation and some are prohibitions. Rupa Goswami also explains the religious and spiritual practice activities that are not limbs of devotional service. These include the following: the duties prescribed by Varnashram's social system, and the development of good qualities and the impersonal approach to the knowledge of the soul. While these aforementioned practices may, in certain forms or even partially, be initially favorable for devotional service, ultimately they are not integral part of the development of bhakti through its stages of development. So why they are, some are essentials, others are not. This is explained by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first chapter, second verse. Okay. How do we understand this particular? Okay, while this aforementioned practices may, in certain forms or even partially, be initially favorable for devotional service, ultimately they are not integral part of the development of bhakti through its stages of development. For example, Lord Krishna says, Tavat karmani kurvita na nivruddheta yavata mat katha swanandau va shraddha yavan jayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho, that is in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23rd verse, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunction known as Varnashram Dharma. This is very important. Varnashram Dharma can be regularly practiced. As for example, Srila Prabhupada also wanted to put Varnashram Dharma, but rather than Daivi Varnashram Dharma. The Daivi Varnashram Dharma will give access to our internal meditation, more than what we are doing as of now. So the important topic to be instituted in ISKCON means institutional or institutionalized teachings would be there for Daivi Varnashram. Daivi means divine. Anything can be turned into divine if it is properly applied in service of Lord Krishna. The Varnashram is also to be applied in service of Krishna. And that becomes Daivi Varnashram. It's not for our bodily conception. We have to go beyond the bodily conception. How come the Varnashram system was to be found in the Gopi homes? They were following all the regulative principles, but at the same time, they were more imbued in love of Krishna that is far beyond the jurisdiction of others to relish. Of course, whoever has participated in Krishna Leela, gopis are the topmost, but how about their husbands and their fathers and children? They are also pure devotees, and they have also manifested from the desire of even personified Vedas. Because ultimate aim of in the spiritual understanding, ultimate aim that whatever position of the instrumental person engaged in pure devotional service is also not only liberated, but having the desire to act spontaneously in those degrees of relationships. We have not seen much of the husbands of the gopis interacting with Lord Krishna, right? But gopis were more prominent on that. But that doesn't mean that these husbands were dumb.
There was something in Brihad Bhagavatamrita.
Yeah.
About the husbands knew that their wives were dear to Krishna, so therefore they bowed down to their wives.
Yeah, the brahmanas.
Yeah.
Krishna and Balaram were hungry, and he sent the boys that go and find out food. So they came to the Yagic brahmanas who were very busy in offering oblations to the fire god. They say Krishna and Balaram are hungry, but they were rebuked and sent back. Go away. You are disturbing our, sadhana and this and that. But Krishna told them, go to their wives, and there was spontaneous, reaction was there. So when they were returning in such a blaze that the Brahmanas were trying to, get through Brahma Sukha of putting oblations and pleasing Lord Vishnu, they completely, became mesmerized. They're seeing their wives, going back home. But they got up, they understood that they are more fortunate because they had more spontaneous love. So they are paying, the husbands are paying obeisances to their wives. Oh, you are so fortunate. We are all, up to little level. It doesn't mean that the wives rejected their husband or criticized their husband. No, but this is the accessibility for the spontaneous devotion rather than to a regulated devotion. So in summary, so this was illustrated in exemplary behavior by the great devotees, including Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada was also very regulated, but when pure and above such duties, devotees may continue. And Prabhupada showed both the examples that he also was doing japa, demonstrating the ideal behavior. At the same time, he was in his internal meditation. And while giving classes, he abruptly says, make a seat for Narad Muni. He is arriving. Like that. In summary, adherence to Varnashram system is not a limb of bhakti. Thus, while following Vedic duties is helpful in freeing one from the enjoying spirit, devotional service is not dependent upon them. Many Yagic Brahmanas, or what we call the Smartha Brahmanas, they enjoy in the process itself rather than developing their higher status of conscious meditation on Krishna. So they are limited. But anyway, practicing devotees are always advised to remain attentive to all 64 items of Vaidhi Bhakti. However, while doing so, they may invariably be drawn to just one or perhaps a few limbs of devotion, and that limb or limbs may become their main vehicle for purification and perfection. 64 limbs are there. So they may choose only a few or one or two to concentrate and try to become perfect on that. Parikshit Maharaj was liberated by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Sukdev Goswami by speaking it. By contrast, the son of Vyasa named 10 practices by which Ambarish Maharaj became free from material attachment and purchased the grace of the Lord. Savai Krishna Padarvindam Vanchansi Gunan Varne. Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindayo. The mind was absorbed in it. So these are the 10 absorptions and spontaneous devotion. So Ambarish Maharaj became free from material attachment and purchased the grace of the Lord. That is also in Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 4th chapter, 18, 19, and 20 verses are there. Okay. So, to choose who recognize the purpose of regulation of devotion, also known as the path of rules, that is Maryada Marg. The Lord offers this flexibility as to how they can awaken their love for Him. Maryada Purushottam, Maryada Marg, Vallabhacharya established Pushti Marg, which is also said to be Maryada Marg. Maryada. Restricting the concentration of the meditation only in the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also approved that. So Lord offers this flexibility that you can also develop love of Godhead through Maryada Marg. That is also Maryada Marg also offers the flexibility as to how they can awaken their love for Him. And yet Krishna is not fully satisfied by the love that devotees achieve through regulated practice. After his disappearance from the world, he thought, Aishwarya janete sab jagatan misrita, Aishwarya shithila preme nahi mora prita, Aishwarya jnane vidhi bhajan kariya, Vaikuntha ke yaya chaturvidha mukti paya. This is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 3rd canto, Adi Leela, 3rd part, 16th and 3rd chapter and 16th and 17th verses are there. Aishwarya janete saba jagata misrita. Aishwarya sthila preme nahi mora prita. Means, knowing my opulence, the whole world looks upon me with awe and veneration. But devotion made feeble by such reverence does not attract me. So Aishwarya is not, that is giving only to Vaikuntha, the Sarsti Mukti. By performing such regulated devotional service in awe and reverence, one may go to Vaikuntha and attain 4 kinds of liberation: Sarsti, Samipya, Salokya, and Sarupya. So that is the personal desire, and the person who is stuck only on Aishwarya can get Sarsti Mukti and other muktis too. And so once again, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to make known that special devotion service whose fruit not only fully satisfy him, but also makes him made with bliss in its influence. That fruit is spontaneous, loving devotional service, which is beyond the range of regulated devotion and can only be attained by spontaneous devotional practice, Raganuga Bhakti. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Not in his Aishwarya Leela, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to establish Raganuga Bhakti. Thus, Rupa Goswami introduced Vaidhi Bhakti not only for the benefit of those who want to take it to the perfection and attain the Lord in one of the Vaikuntha planets. More importantly, that in keeping with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, he introduced Vaidhi Bhakti as the way in which practicing devotees can purify themselves until their natural attachment to Krishna dawns. Moreover, he propounded the process of Vaidhi Bhakti as suitable external conduct for accomplished Raganuga devotees. Why external conduct, Vaidhi Bhakti? Prabhupada showed Vaidhi Bhakti, but he was internally absorbed, right? So what that means, then one has to become example, because in Kali Yuga, only regulated chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, is the only yoga dharma and must be practiced regulatedly to its maturity to make us accessible to Raganuga Bhakti. So since the external activities of spontaneous and regulated devotion are almost identical, Rupa Goswami's description of the former is much more concise in that of the latter. The reason is that the spontaneous devotional service is almost like regulated devotional service, but with a different inspiration and different meditation or meditation. So internal sadhana has to be done through the tutelage of Yutheshwaris, the eternal associates, the 8 principal gopis, and devotees must aspire at the end. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote so many songs, and I sang about 8 songs in Melbourne last year, which is recorded in the studio, and I hope it will be released soon. But this gives how Bhaktivinoda longs for the internal meditation, and we will get a glimpse, through those songs. And next time, or even right now, I can give you some references to those songs. If you have pen and paper, you can write down. Varaja Vipine Yamuna Kule Mancha Manohar Shobita Pule. That is one. Another, Satak Koti Gopi Madhava Mana Rakhi pe Nari Log Kori Jatana Venu Gite Dake Radhika Nam Esho Esho Radhe Dakaya Shyam. Beautiful bhajans are there. Radha bhajane jadi mati nahi bhela, Krishna bhajan. That is there. Vrishabhanusuta charana sevane hoi boje palyadasi. Radhika charana renu bhushana koriyatanu anayase pave giridari. We have sung that, you know. देखिते देखिते भूली बाबा कबे निज स्थूल परिचय and बाल्यदासी कोरी ललिता सुंदरी अमार लैया कबे बाल्यदासी कोरी ललिता सुंदरी. All this Yateshwaris will be there. Shri Krishna Virahe Radhikar Das Amito Sahite Nari. Oh, all these songs are so beautiful, but they are for our deep understanding to cultivate the mood and mission Bhaktivinoda Thakur shows us. Anyway. So, once again, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to introduce Raganuga Bhakti. Thus, Rupa Goswami introduced Vaidhi Bhakti not only for the benefit of those who want to take it to the perfection and attain the Lord in one of the Vaikuntha planets, but more opportunately, most importantly, and keeping with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, he introduced Vaidhi Bhakti as a way in which practicing devotees can purify themselves until their natural attachment to Krishna drowns. Moreover, he propounded the process of Vaidhi Bhakti as the suitable external conduct for the accomplished Raganuga devotees. Prabhupada showed both the examples. Since the external activities of spontaneous and regulated devotion are almost identical, Rupa Goswami's description of the former is much more concise than that of the latter. The reason is that spontaneous devotional service is almost like regulated devotional service, but with a different inspiration and different meditation. In describing Raganuga Bhakti, therefore, the Bhakti Rasacharya, Rupa Goswami, concentrates not on its limbs, which for the most part are limbs of regulated devotional service, but on the qualification of its practice, its divisions, and the mental absorption accompanying it. All this is, he proceeds with an explanation of its perfection and the role models it emulates, the residents of Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami is describing Raganu Bhakti because he knows the Rasa Tattva in this relationship. So he does not concentrate on its limbs, therefore regulated devotion, but on the qualification of its practice, its divisions, and the mental absorption accompanying it. So these are the three factors that we have to keep in mind. Okay, I'm just finishing. Please bear with me. So in relation to our mental absorption of different moods. All this proceeds with an explanation of its perfection and the role model it emulates, the residents of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada points to Mother Yashoda as a role model. He writes, anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yashoda. The description of Krishna's mother to which Srila Prabhupada refers is the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kshaumam Vasaha Pruthur Kati Tate Bibrati Sutra Nadam Patra Sneha Snatakur Subruhu Rajva Akarsh Shrama Bhuja Chalata Kankana Kundalecha Sannivan Vaktram Kabara Vigalan Malati Nirma Mantha. The translation is, dressed in saffron yellow sari with the belt tied about her full hips, Mother Yashoda pulled on the churning rope, laboring considerably, her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating, and her body shaking. Because of her intense love for her child, her breasts were wet with milk. Her face, with its very beautiful eyebrows, was wet with perspiration, and the multi flowers were falling from her hair. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada concludes his commentary by saying, therefore, this description is provided here. Advanced devotees must cherish this description, always thinking of Mother Yashoda's feature, how she was dressed, how she was working and perspiring, how beautifully the flowers were arranged in her hair, and so on. One should take advantage of the full description provided here by thinking of Mother Yashoda in the maternal affection for Krishna. So, we are given guidelines on the basis of our qualification to increase intensified love of Lord Shri Krishna, that we should not give up our regulated devotional service, but at the same time we should also try to focus our mind on varied subject, but wherever the mind gets more attached, then we can look into the concentrated effort. Of course, it has to be done under the tutelage, and the individual gopis are authorized. So this will apply to first Shravana Dasha, then Varana Dasha, that you have to choose a particular tutelage from that particular mood of the gopis describing. The spiritual master can help in that direction, provided, he is progressing in that direction himself. Otherwise not. So we have to be very careful. We all want to do progress, but we have to be really guided. And well, a fearful of deviation may cause a great havoc. So it is better to be guided very cautiously and correctly within the stepwise development of our internal meditation through the leaderships of specific gopis for that particular power. The gopas will have to go through different leaders in the gopa. Krishna was doing, and we can understand Srila Prabhupada also having the mood of, Krishna as a friend. In his Markina Bhagavad Dharma, he expresses his desire. But the activity he was concentrating with Luta Luti, that they are stealing the prasadam, while in the lunch. So Prabhupada was concentrating on that mood. So anyway, do we have enough time for question, answers? Haribol.
Any questions from anybody?
I'm supposed to leave for Jaipur right now. Tell me quickly.
Question on the chat.
Huh?
The question on the chat from the Vyambaradhara, maybe that's
Vyambaradhara Mataji.
Clearly practicing regulated bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti.
Let me see. Sincerely practicing regulated bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti, along with causeless mercy of the Lordship, Gurudev and Vaishnavas will eventually lead one to the spontaneous bhakti. And that is Ragana. Is that right understanding? Yes, everybody who are progressing, their blessings have to be taken. Can spontaneous bhakti, that is Vraja Bhav, be cultivated by having the desire for the same? Yeah. If it fits, wear it. But then one single pair of shoes does not help us. So we have to try which particular size is fitting. So like that, there is also in the initial aspect, trial and error has been described by Haridas Thakur and Harinam Chintamani.
right. It's like you can finish, no one else is spoken.
Anything else?
Oh, Ujjwala Rasagya.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna, pranams to you. Gurudev, pranams to you. Thank you, Gurudev. Very enlivening. Very enlivening. I somehow feel like, whoa.
It's a different world, isn't it?
This is Gurudev, a dream come true. I'm like, oh, I guess this is what has to happen, and it is. So it's more almost like, oh yes, it's manifesting. Thank you, Gurudev.
But aren't we proud that in ISKCON we have devotees like this?
Yes, 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 Gurudev. But yes, Gurudev. Yes, Gurudev. Yeah. And it is such a natural thing to happen for any sincere seeker in this time.
It is natural, ingrained.
Yeah.
Because as part and parcel, the qualitative oneness, but quantitative difference is there. Unless and until we remove the separate desire which has born out of hate,
yes, Gurudev.
then and then we will have access. Because if we are able to remove these two factors that brought us into material world, Ichcha Dvesa Samuttena, Dvanda mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sargayanti paranta. Then we'll be able to get rid of, uh, all the obstacles, and
Yeah.
will have accessibility to pure love of God through stage-wise development.
But it feels like, Gurudev, it just feels like, the emphasis that we place on a certain aspects, like Vaidhi Bhakti emphasis is needed. When Gaura Katha, like the potency of this kathas, when Gaura Katha comes into picture, it just feels like the whole Vaidhi Bhakti is shrunk into, the ocean to a drop, just with the
Yeah,
potency
but
of Gaura Katha.
Gaur Katha is not different than Krishna Katha.
Mm.
And because all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were all liberated soul, so naturally their interaction with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Leela he performed, it is also of spontaneous devotional service level. So
Yes.
naturally, Chaitanya Charitamrita must be understood uh, uh, for the internal uh, development of Raganuga Bhakti. If we develop Chaitanya mission and on the Raganuga platform, then absolutely what is essential is a Yuga Dharma that will be fulfilled, and going back home, back to Godhead, to Golok Vrindavan is also perfected.
Right. It is only natural for any devotee who is following, Guru Gauranga, Gaura Prajana. It's only natural that Raganuga is a very natural sequential step
Yes.
because, yes, Gurudev. Um, so the emphasis on the sadhana bhakti is with the potency of the instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and when sadhana and bhajan is done
Yeah.
in that direction, the percentage, the emphasis of sadhana bhakti is because it will be taken care of so naturally that somebody would come to Raga Bhakta quickly. In other words, Trinadapi Sunichana happens so fast with
But
the
then, yes, but then all the external activities should be also
right,
minimized,
right. Yes,
minimized
Gurudev.
within the
Yes, Gurudev.
household, and
Yeah,
detachment with the detachment and the knowledge
right,
to pursue the higher taste
right,
be there. Uh,
right, Gurudev.
but sometimes it is hampering. There is a backlog, or there is some stumbling block will be there that may not allow us. So, therefore, Vaidhi Bhakti is also important to become regulated. So, the mood for spontaneous devotional service will be maintained. Otherwise, as if we are running out of ammunition, and uh, the strong sadhana would naturally lead to the Raganuga Bhakti.
Right.
Strong sadhana,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Tivrena bhakti yogena yajata purusham param.
Mm.
Uh, we are taking for easy, okay, 16 rounds, but our meditation is somewhere else. We are not able to fix our mind in Krishna Katha.
And when
The
you're
more and
saying,
listen, more to spread Krishna consciousness, but we can also see this Krishna consciousness is spreading, but it is so diluted.
yeah,
With a lot of anarthas are introducing
yeah,
movement.
yeah, yes, Gurudev.
Instead of anartha nivrutti,
Pravritti is
what
happening,
is
another pravritti.
yeah, anartha pravrutti,
Yes, Gurudev. Yeah, yeah,
groupism, then might is right,
mm,
uh, inheritance of the properties and this and that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They are disqualified totally,
Yeah.
in this subject.
Right. Right. Gurudev, if a sadhaka's goal and destination is towards Trinadapi Sunichena, then they would quickly come to the qualification of Raganuga. It only naturally happens with the
Naturally happens, but it should be continuous, not
yeah.
sporadic.
Yes, Gurudev.
So that mood has to be retained, but in the material world, there are interruptions.
Yes.
Stumbling blocks are there.
Mhm.
So sadhana should be there. Without sadhana, you will not be having any interest. Those who are sahajiyas, they will give up everything, but at the same time, they will not achieve.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
I have seen many people and this Sahajiya movement, offshoots of even Nityananda Nagari and Sakhi Bheki, and their emotions are for time being.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
they are supposed to meditate, and their meditation is in Ha Krishna, Ha Krishna, on a crying mood. On the
Yeah.
steps of Lotus building in Mayapur, certain life members come and they do like this, and but they have to eat, and so disruption will be there. They have to go travel, disruption will be there. So what kind of practice is there? That is not continuous. The mood breaks off from time to time.
Would
So
you explain, Gurudev? Continuous mood means? Would you please
yes,
explain?
naturally, one should be totally absorbed,
Mhm.
and continuous absorption. That kind of facility should be created.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
the Dham is supposed to create that facility, but we are completely off guard, and materialism is also happening, and the price is rocketing so high in the Dham that is unimaginable. So these are the interruptions. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, we don't get water supply. Um, you know,
Mhm.
how do we do this, that? So many
Mhm.
imperfections are there because of interference of material. Therefore, regulated sadhana is required to at least keep the internal feelings intact rather than overflowing the internal feelings,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
becoming a sahaji immediately.
Mhm. Beautiful. Gurudev,
Okay.
can this happen at home too, or does it have to be in Dhamma only?
Everywhere, Kali
Yeah,
Yuga.
thank you.
So we have to
Mhm.
protect our
Mhm.
internal dham, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. Beautiful, Gurudev. Beautiful.
One time, I was standing in the Krishna Balaram temple underneath the bakul tree with my godbrother talking. One Russian young boy came and said, Maharaj, Maharaj, please help me. I want to know where is actual Vrindavan. I said, you are in Vrindavan. I said, no, not this one. This Vrindavan is dirty, and that doesn't have anything. Then we said, oh, that Vrindavan is to be cultivated internally. And
Beautiful.
he could not understand that.
Mhm.
There's a two different Vrindavan. So the sadhana bhakti will help us to create
Yeah.
a proper atmosphere within our
Right.
heart,
Right.
and on the strength of that preparedness, we
Yes.
may
Yes.
travel into
Yes.
Araganuga. Okay, very carefully.
Very beautifully said, Gurudev. Feast. Thank you. Thank you,
Hare
Gurudev.
Krishna. So thank you very much. We'll try to see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.